Welcome, everybody, back to the A Show Network, and we are here with a very special guest. We have had many NXT champion here before. We have had Carmelo Hayes. We have had Ilya Dragunov. We have another legend in the making. I feel like, listen, at this point, being on this show, we're going to add it to your Wikipedia profile because at this point, everyone who comes on this show experiences some level of success. I'm just saying, you're already halfway there. Honestly, um, I want to introduce a man who I feel like is humbly. I look at people who have some of the fastest rides in WWE, and I feel like he's taken the most humble route ever by just not immediately going straight to the top and winning the world championship. I've seen it all. We're gonna introduce Oba Femi. Welcome to the A Show, my friend.
Thank you, Mills. Thank you, Cyrus. I really should go straight to the top, but my humility will not let me.
Listen, I get it. I get it. You're gonna be competing this Sunday, July 7th, NXT Heat Wave. Is this your third PLE in a row?
Yes. My fourth, I think.
Fourth. Okay.
Fourth. Yes.
Yeah. Listen, man, you're on a roll. Listen, I want to ask you this. I'm gonna completely just get this out there because this was a topic of conversation a couple months ago. There was a funny exchange between you. Actually, there's a funny exchange on Instagram between a user and what I'm assuming is Mama Femi.
Okay.
Over your age.
I might recall this, yes.
Yes, over your age, over who you are. First of all, is Mama Femi your biggest fan? I just have to ask you that.
Without a doubt. 100% she's my biggest fan. She's definitely the one. Yes.
Listen, they was like, oh, you're this age. And she was like, no, I am mother. He is this age. Don't get me wrong.
I know my son.
Right. Do you want to confirm what age you are? Are you good?
So I am 26. And just for the record, the only person who can conquer Oba Femi is Mama Femi. I'm just putting that out there. So all the Dijaks and Elias and Trick Williams that will potentially try one day, if you want to beat Oba Femi, you have to call Oba Femi's mother.
Don't do it. Your enemies. Right. Oh my God. Go ahead, man. Let's take it from here.
Okay. So speaking of Mama Femi, what was, your family's parents' reaction from going from an amazing shot putter and just saying, I want to become a pro wrestler. I just want to switch careers and join the WWE?
Well, the initial reaction was that of uncertainty because change is always hard for people to grasp and, accept. But I think along the line, they realize, okay, like this is what Oba really wants to do. This is what he really wants. And if this is what he wants, we have to support him, as any good family member should. When you realize, your family member is chasing what they really want to do, you're just going to have to let go of the steering wheel and let them do them. So it was uncomfortable at first, but now I can comfortably say that they are okay with it.
When was the moment they became fully okay with it? Like, was it your first match, takeover?
No, not even less than that. Because you would think that it would be at Vengeance Day when I defended my North American Championship against Dragon Lee. No, it wasn't even that. It was fairly early on. As soon as they realized that, oh wait, he really wants to do this, they were like, we have your back.
Okay, I love that. We love a good supportive parent. Oh my God! Yeah. All right. Speaking of your stand and deliver feats, I want to ask you. Well, your NXT takeover feats, but we're gonna go to stand and deliver because you have this crazy spot that is. I have to get what's going through your mind. You're walking out of the corner. You have Dijak on your shoulders, and on Dijak's shoulders is Josh Briggs on his shoulders. What is going through your mind as you're trying to balance, move? The crowd is raising. It's stand and deliver of all things. What's going through your mind at that moment?
I mean, no pun intended, to deliver. When you're put in a position like that, the only thing you can do or you should do is deliver. But at that point in the game, it was kind of like flow state. Like we had the crowd, everything was going fine. And when you're in flow state, you don't think much. So when you say what was going through my mind, at that point, It was already a good match. It was already on the highest of highs. So we were kind of just riding that wave, you know.
How'd you feel about that match came out? It was pretty one of the highest rated matches, one of the most incredible matches of the weekend.
I mean, personally, I think that's a 10-star match.
I love it.
Let me tell you why. Because going into that one, there wasn't too much build up or history or anything like that. Just intrinsically, like on its own, a standalone good match. Now, can you imagine if we had 7, 8, 9 weeks to, you know, tell a good story? Like, that's why I strongly believe that it's a 10-star match, because it didn't have any backbone or hind legs to stand on. It's just on its own, it's a very, very good match.
Come on, man. First ever 10-star match. I love it.
Oba Meltzer is here.
Let's not start that. But you just mentioned story, and I think that's really interesting. Is there any stories that you want to tell? You know, just as Oba Femi, as a wrestler, as a champion, anything like that?
I mean, you don't want to chase after stories. If you chase it, then it's not organic. It's not natural.
Okay.
You have to find yourself there, and you're like, oh, this makes sense to do now. So we pull the trigger now. So that's why I'm not very big on like fantasizing about, you know, dream stories and dream this. It has to be in front of you for you to, you know, take it.
Come on now. I love it. Listen,
just going with the
dropping
flow.
Wisdom.
Flow state.
Amazing. Right? Oh my God. You want to take the next question, Cyrus? Go ahead.
Yeah, of course. So speaking of something that just came organically, we had Sexxy Redd come over at NXT.
Hey man,
iconic moments. You know, I'm sure it was a very fun time over there. But is there any artist that you would like to have in your corner for a title match or anything?
In my corner, Burna Boy. Burna Boy. Somebody find me Burna Boy and put him in my. Honestly, if Burna Boy is in my corner, I will never drop the belt. I will never lose.
No,
I will never lose.
The catalog is insane. The catalog of matches is too insane. It's like a perfect melding of worlds. Nah, Burna Boy is it, bro. What's the reaction when a Sexxy Redd is coming to NXT? Is it like excitement? Do you feel like, oh wow, like we're getting these big stars on our show? Is it like backstage? Is there chatter? Like, how is it?
I mean, it's buzz. It's buzz. Not only for us, you know, backstage, but for like, you know, the NXT universe and the WWE universe. Like, to have someone like Sexxy Redd come on the show, it draws eyes, it brings eyes. There's no possible disadvantage. And I personally, I think Sexxy knocked it out of the park. She did a great job hosting Battleground and a great job on NXT TV. So yeah.
No, this is crazy. How, if you had to say, you talk about buzz and excitement within the NXT universe, how important would you say that the crowd is with kind of the things that you do? You think about like Stand and Deliver, that kind of moment where the crowd is rising. You think of every time you come out, your entrance, even when you speak, they're engaged, they're with it. Like, how important is that crowd to you at this point of your career?
I mean, very important. I would say very important. But like, the goal for me is to never, it's not always to have them at 10. You know, you want to build to 10. Like that's what I kind of envision, even with matches and promos and, you know, everything. When you come out, it's great that, you know, the crowd is behind everything. And, you know, we have the crowd on Tuesday. It's an Orlando-based crowd, so it's pretty much the same, you know, group of people that come in week to week for the most part. So I mean, sometimes they've seen a lot of things before, and, you know, sometimes they are down at like a 2, but the goal is to always walk them from that 2 to a 10.
And I feel like they've seen your progress as well, right? Like them being part of this entire journey, they've seen you from level up. They've seen your first matches with like Dante Chen, and now they're seeing you on this kind of big stage doing these things. They have to ultimately be proud of you, and they feel like when you see that part of your journey, I'll always remember one of the first wrestlers I kind of saw like legitimately go through all his stages was Edge. And I saw Edge, and I remember as a kid, I felt like he was like 20 years older than me, don't get me wrong. But like I seen him mature as I mature, and I feel like the crowd goes through that same kind of process with you on a weekly basis. So it's kind of amazing to watch, even even though the chants get to, I'm like, all right, let him speak. Come on. Not every time.
They're
but
they're invested. It's great.
They're invested. They're absolutely invested.
And they're invested because it's real. And that goes back to what I said earlier about the opportunity thing being in front of you. It's there. They're seeing it. It's real. And, imagine if that was something that we tried to like shoehorn into the program. Like, it won't work as well. They won't be as engaged because realistically, I go to a PLE, defend the title, win, come back, and I've done that like rinse and repeat 5 times. And I cut a promo, and at this point they should be checked out because it's been the same rinse and repeat 5 times. But because it's real and it's right in front of us, and they're seeing the maturity and the growth and everything, that's why they can hold on. And it doesn't. I feel like I can do the same thing 20 times, and I still have them engaged.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And
love that.
And then this Saturday, you're going to Toronto, and hopefully the new crowd will be just as engaged seeing you battle Wesley.
100%.
And it's a lot of stakes on the line with that. But Cyrus, take it from here.
So you're very dominant in the North American division right now, dominant in NXT in general. But if you had to take your dominance to the Impact Zone, to TNA, who is somebody you would like to face to really kick it off and show that you mean business?
We have to go at this point. It has to be Moose. I don't see anyone else. Maybe AJ Francis, but Moose is if you want to go into a joint and take down the biggest and baddest guy to establish your dominance, it's Moose. When we're talking about the Impact Zone, Moose.
Come on, man. Oba Worldwide, baby. Like,
let's make it happen.
Across the lines. What match do you feel like has been your biggest lesson thus far?
Lesson?
Yeah. You had a banger with Ivar a number of weeks ago that might have obliterated you. I don't know if that taught you any kind of.
I mean, like, I think getting up from a hard hit at this point is not like a lesson. It's just at this point it's just part of the game. Maybe probably Battleground, the triple threat at Battleground. That was a very interesting crowd to me, at least. Not every crowd just wants to see big moments and high spots. Different crowds want different things. So I would say Battleground was a big learning curve for me.
What do you say? What would you think? What you came away from in that kind of match? That match. This is your second triple threat in a row. They're like coming at you from all angles at this point. What do you say was kind of the lesson that you learned or really took from it?
If that whole event taught me anything, is that crowds get tired. I don't care how, and that was one of NXT. That was one of our most solid cards, as from like a work rate perspective standpoint, from like a match performance star rating standpoint. Like that was an all-round solid card. There was not a single bad match that day. But after the women's ladder match, they checked out because it was the women's ladder match was especially so good. It was historically groundbreaking because it was the first female North American championship that was won by Kalani Jordan. Congratulations to her. And then after that, they were here. And then
it just started losing them.
As the show went on, they got tired. And like it didn't matter, how many times I caught Wesley out of a Meteora or, they were done.
Easily. I don't know. I can see it. That's definitely a lesson worth it. And definitely gonna take it to NXT TakeOver. Yeah.
All right. So just to cap off before we go to the lightning round questions, a lot of fun ones we got set for you. But how long till you set your sights on the NXT championship? How long till Trick Williams is just this close from getting touched?
I want to first of all overshadow Wesley's run because realistically, that's really what I want to do, because I want to change the history books. Because when you mention the greatest North American champion of all time, most people are Wesley, and I'm trying to
The
change
voice.
that. You know, I need to change that, and then we can talk about if Trick still has the NXT title at that point. Then we can have a conversation about that. But until then, let's eclipse Wesley.
I feel you. Listen, he's very cerebral in his attack. You know what I'm saying? He's picking his spots. I understand. I'm there with you, bro. Let's go through a few before we want to do a few quick questions. These are very fun. So last Friday on SmackDown, the LA Knight had Jalen Brunson.
We had
Jalen Brunson in his corner. Logan Paul had Tyrese Halliburton. If you had to pick an NBA player to be in your corner, who would it be? I have an idea, but you know.
Oh, right now, it's Bronny boy, little Bronny.
Oh, you picking Bronny?
Okay. Baby Bronny, yeah, why not?
Nice, bro. I would have thought, like, you know, I don't know, maybe it's because you're Nigerian. I would have thought Joel Embiid. I would have thought Giannis, maybe.
Giannis. I thought it was gonna be Giannis.
you know, maybe I'm angry with Giannis. Because he can't find a way to get everybody to pronounce his name correctly.
Ooh.
I'm angry. I mean, he just let people bury his name constantly. Like, because of that, he's disqualified. He can't be in my corner.
You know what? Fair enough. I feel you. What's your favorite things to watch when you're not wrestling?
As far as you talking about wrestling matches, or are you talking about like movies?
No, like movies, TV shows.
Ooh. Well, my favorite TV show of all time is Breaking Bad.
Okay,
love it.
I'm a huge fan of Walter White. Okay. We like Walter White.
No, we don't like Walter White.
Oh no, we like Walter White.
That's cool. What do you and if there's any music that you're listening to, because we love to get the music takes of everyone who comes on this show. What's in your playlist right now?
Afrobeat, Burna Boy, Omale. I like Omale.
Omale is good. Great album.
Classic Wizkid, not the new Wizkid, the old Wizkid. I like some hip hop. I mean, Lil Wayne is, to me, the greatest rapper of all time. To me.
Who's gonna disagree? No. Who's gonna disagree?
But some people say Kendrick and Drake, but like as far as like, you know, being a lyricist and an entertainer and having hits, I feel like Lil Wayne doesn't. He's like a good mix of every single category. So yeah,
I feel.
Wayne.
Are you afraid of the NXT parking lot?
No.
No. Untouchable. I feel you.
You can try. I mean, you can't.
This is gonna age like milk eventually.
No, I doubt that. It's not going to age like milk. And if for any reason I get taken out, it's not in the stupid parking lot. I promise you. It's not.
Okay. How did it feel being part of NXT security team? Back in it, listen, you're really from humble beginnings.
We love to see it. You know, we've seen it all.
Wait, hold on. Was
sure?
that one?
I don't know. It's on your Instagram, buddy.
Oh.
Tried to play it off?
You tried to play it off. Listen.
You know.
Listen, that might have been, all right, maybe you're just a, you know, was your twin brother?
Twin? Maybe.
Maybe.
You know, maybe it was
I feel you.
Gunfola, you know, another Nigerian guy. But
oh my God.
Okay.
Last question. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say who's somebody on the main roster you would love to face?
Ooh. Gunther.
Gunther in my mind, buddy.
And let me say Ilya too, because I really wanted to wrestle Ilya before he left NXT, because I knew the writing was on the wall, and I was like, I might not get to wrestle this guy. But Walter, Ilya, I like people who do simple things well, and I feel like those two are the embodiment of that exactly. So yeah, I also believe that I fit into that category as well. of like just doing simple things well. And yeah, I would have loved to see what I could have done with those guys.
Okay. Ilya, friend of the show. Come on down.
Listen.
Come back down. We got to make it
Cyrus,
happen.
Cyrus, you got any
No.
questions?
Ilya is not coming down. I'm
No.
going up.
You're going up. Right.
I'm going up.
Much better. What final one? You ever thought about going on speed?
I feel like you'd be really good at speed. I'm gonna give it a bug with you.
Well, only time will tell.
Okay.
When I look at myself, I'm not, a speed guy. But you wouldn't think Iva or Bronson Reed are either. So
Right.
who knows? Who knows?
Amen.
Defying expectations, man.
Yeah.
Of course. But listen, we're rooting for you this Sunday. NXT Heat Wave. You going to the 6. It's going to be amazing. Everyone can tune in Sunday, July 7th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, wherever the time may tune into this, because he is going to have, once again, he's going to steal the show again. I mean, at this point, 3 for 3, 4 for 4. Like, at this point,
Amen.
It's not stopping.
no one's can stop him. Thank you guys for tuning in. And of course, we'll be back with more of the A Show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.